Tower, Amrex 881 inbound for runway 1. Cleared to land runway 1, Amrex 881. Ground, Unity 651 ready for taxi. Cross runway 1, Canada 958. Cross runway 4, Canada 958. Tower, Amrex 730 inbound for runway 33. Line up and wait runway 1, Amrex 786. Cleared to land runway 33, Amrex 730. Ground, Amrex 650 ready for taxi. Cleared for takeoff runway 1, Amrex 786. Ran, Amrex 188 at C44, request pushback. Cross runway 4, Alaskan 235. Contacting departure, Amrex 786. Cross runway 33 and taxi to parking, America 756. Tower, Amrex 775 inbound for runway 1. Cleared to land runway 1, Amrex 775. Taxi to G7, helicopter Skyhard 87. Line up and wait runway 4, Amrex 383. Line up and wait runway 1, Canada 964. Ground, Amrex 114 ready for taxi. Tower, UNEX 668 inbound for runway 33. Taxi to runway 1 Amrex 650. Ran, Swest 53 at 85, request pushback. Taxi to runway 1X cargo 514. Cleared for takeoff runway 1, Canada 964. Taxi to parking, Amrex 659. Taxi to parking, Amrex 881. Contacting departure, Canada 964. Tower, America 136 inbound for runway 1. Ran, Amrex 993 at C35, request pushback. Tower, Amrex 651 inbound for runway 33. Cleared to land runway 1, America 136. Tower, UNEX 668, going around, no landing clearance. Contacting departure, UNEX 668. Cross runway 4, AMREX 650. Taxi to parking, AMREX 775. Taxi to parking, AMREX 730. Cleared to land runway 33, AMREX 651. Cleared for takeoff runway 4, AMREX 383. Line up and wait runway 4, AMREX 128. Taxi to runway 1 Unity 651. Ram, ALX 849 at B15, request pushback. Cleared for pushback ALX 849. Contacting departure, AMREX 383. Tower, AMREX 244 inbound for runway 1. Taxi to runway 4 AMREX 163. Cleared to land runway 1, AMREX 244. Cross runway 4, X cargo 514. Line up and wait runway 1, AMREX 650. Tower, AMREX 988 inbound for runway 33. Cleared to land runway 33, AMREX 988. Taxi to runway 33 AMREX 114. Cleared for takeoff runway 1, AMREX 650. Cross runway 4, Unity 651. Ram, Blue 596 at C24, request pushback. Cleared for pushback AMREX 188. Contacting departure, AMREX 650. Cleared for pushbacks West 53. Tower, Unity 110 inbound for runway 1. Cleared for takeoff runway 4, AMREX 128. Line up and wait runway 1, X cargo 514. Ground, ALX 849 ready for taxi. Ground, helicopter Skyhard 87 at G7, ready for taxi. Tower, UNEX 205 inbound for runway 33. Contacting departure, AMREX 128. Ram, Bronte 723 at AA, request pushback. Taxi to parking, AMREX 244. For takeoff runway 1, X cargo 514. Cleared to land runway 33, UNEX 205. Cleared to land runway 1, Unity 110. Cleared for pushback AMREX 993. Cross runway 1, AMREX 114. Cross runway 4, AMREX 114. Cross runway 33 and taxi to parking, America 136. Contacting departure, X-Cargo 514. Taxi to parking, Amerex 651. Tower, X-Cargo 518 inbound for runway 1. Ground, Amerex 188 ready for taxi. Cleared to land runway 1, X-Cargo 518. Ran, Swest 259 at A3, request pushback. Ground, Swest 53 ready for taxi. Cleared for pushback Swest 259. Taxi to runway 1 Swest 53. Line up and wait runway 1, Unity 651. Taxi to parking, Amerex 988. Taxi to runway 1 Amerex 188. Cleared for takeoff runway 1, Unity 651. Taxi to helipad helicopter Skyhard 87. Taxi to parking, Unity 110. Ran, UNEX 949 at B14, request pushback. Contacting departure, Unity 651. Cleared for pushback UNEX 949. Tower, Blue 384 inbound for runway 1. Ground, Amerex 993 ready for taxi. Taxi to runway 1 Amerex 993. Taxi to parking, UNEX 205. Cleared to land runway 1, Blue 384. Line up and wait runway 33, Canada 958. Hold position, UNEX 205. Cleared for takeoff runway 33, Canada 958. Ground, Swest 259 ready for taxi. Taxi to runway 1 Swest 259. Continue taxi, UNEX 205. Ran, Swest 113 at A4, request pushback. Cross runway 33 and taxi to parking, X-Cargo 518. Contacting departure, Canada 958. Cleared for takeoff from helipad, helicopter Skyhard 87. Tower, $373 inbound for runway 1. Cross runway 4, Swest 53. Cross runway 4, Amerex 188. Line up and wait runway 4, Amerex 163. Cleared to land runway 1, $373. Ground, UNEX 949 ready for taxi. Tower, Amerex 296 inbound for runway 33. Cleared to land runway 33, Amerex 296. Ran, Swest 844 at A6, request pushback. Cleared for takeoff runway 4, AMREX 163. Cleared for pushback Swest 844. Taxi to runway 33 UNEX 949. Taxi to runway 1 DLX 849. Cross runway 4, Swest 259. Cross runway 33 and taxi to parking, Blue 384. Contacting departure, AMREX 163. Cross runway 4, AMREX 993. Contacting departure, helicopter Skyheart 87. Cleared for pushback Bronte 723. Cleared for pushback Blue 596. Tower, Swest 800 inbound for runway 1. Tower, helicopter D cargo 409 inbound. Line up and wait runway 1, AMREX 188. Cleared to land runway 1, Swest 800. Helicopter D cargo 409 cleared to land on helipad. RAN, Alaskan 605 at BAT, request pushback. Hold position, Swest 259. Tower, AMREX 367 inbound for runway 33. Cleared to land runway 33, AMREX 367. Cleared for takeoff runway 1, AMREX 188. Cross runway 4, DLX 849. Cross runway 33 and taxi to parking, $373. Ground, Swest 844 ready for taxi. Cross runway 1, UNEX 949. Contacting departure, AMREX 188. Taxi to runway 1 Swest 844. RAN, AMREX 447 at C29, request pushback. Cross runway 4, UNEX 949. Cleared for pushback AMREX 447. Tower, Swest 326 inbound for runway 1. Cleared to land runway 1, Swest 326. Line up and wait runway 1, Alaskan 235. Ground, Blue 596 ready for taxi. Ground, Bronte 723 ready for taxi. Taxi to parking, AMREX 296. Tower, AMREX 822 inbound for runway 33. Taxi to runway 1 Bronte 723. Cleared to land runway 33, AMREX 822. Cleared for takeoff runway 1, Alaskan 235. RAN, AMREX 727 at C41, request pushback. Cleared for pushback AMREX 727. Cross runway 33 and taxi to parking, Swest 800. Hold position, AMREX 296. RAN, AMREX 628 at C35K, request pushback. Continue taxi, Swest 259. Cross runway 4, Swest 844. Contacting departure, Alaskan 235. Cleared for pushback AMREX 628. Taxi to parking, AMREX 367. Tower, X Cargo 626 inbound for runway 1. Cleared to land runway 1, X Cargo 626. Cross runway 4, Bronte 723. Taxi to runway 1 Blue 596. Ground, AMREX 447 ready for taxi. Tower, UNEX 800 inbound for runway 33. Taxi to runway 33 AMREX 447. Cleared to land runway 33, UNEX 800. RAM, AMREX 525 at C30, request pushback. RAM, AMREX 74 at C37, request pushback. Cleared for pushback AMREX 74. RAM, UNEX 38 at B12, request pushback. Line up and wait runway 33, AMREX 114. Continue taxi, AMREX 296. Taxi to parking, Swest 326. Cleared for pushback UNEX 38. Cleared for pushback AMREX 525. Ground, AMREX 727 ready for taxi. Tower, Bronte 845 inbound for runway 1. Ground, AMREX 628 ready for taxi. RAM, AMREX 336 at C42, request pushback. Cleared for takeoff runway 33, AMREX 114. Cleared for pushback AMREX 336. Taxi to runway 4 AMREX 727. Tower, AMREX 256 inbound for runway 33. Taxi to parking, AMREX 822. Cleared to land runway 33, AMREX 256. Cleared to land runway 1, Bronte 845. Contacting departure, AMREX 114. Line up and wait runway 1, Swest 259. Taxi to G7, helicopter D Cargo 409. Ground, AMREX 74 ready for taxi. Cleared for takeoff runway 1, Swest 259. Cross runway 33 and taxi to parking, X Cargo 626. RAM, AMREX 903 at C35H, request pushback. Taxi to runway 1 AMREX 74. Cleared for pushback AMREX 903. Taxi to runway 4 AMREX 628. Taxi to parking, UNEX 800. Tower, AMREX 16 inbound for runway 1. Contacting departure, Bronte 845. Go around and fly published missed approach, Bronte 845. Line up and wait runway 1, AMREX 993. Contacting departure, Swest 259. Ground, UNEX 38 ready for taxi. Ground, AMREX 525 ready for taxi. Tower, UNEX 576 inbound for runway 33. Taxi to runway 1 UNEX 38. Cross runway 1, AMREX 447. Cross runway 4, Blue 596. Cleared to land runway 33, UNEX 576. Cleared to land runway 1, AMREX 16. Cross runway 4, AMREX 447. Taxi to runway 4 AMREX 525. Ground, AMREX 336 ready for taxi. Cleared for takeoff runway 1, AMREX 993. Taxi to runway 1 AMREX 336. Ran, AMREX 476 of C350, request pushback. Cleared for pushback AMREX 476. Hold position, AMREX 525. Ran, Habesha 26 of G6, request pushback. Continue taxi, AMREX 525. Cleared for pushback Habesha 26. Contacting departure, AMREX 993. Taxi to parking, AMREX 256. Cross runway 4, UNEX 38. Ground, AMREX 903 ready for taxi. Line up and wait runway 1, ALX 849. Tower, America 885 inbound for runway 1. Cleared to land runway 1, America 885. Hold position, X cargo 626. Tower, mission critical 566 inbound for runway 33. Cleared to land runway 33, mission critical 566. Ran, $366 of B22, request pushback. Cleared for pushback $366. Cleared for takeoff runway 1, ALX 849. Cross runway 4, AMREX 74. Line up and wait runway 4, AMREX 727. Ground, AMREX 476 ready for taxi. Cleared for takeoff runway 4, AMREX 727. Taxi to parking, AMREX 16. Contacting departure, ALX 849. Taxi to parking, UNEX 576. Taxi to runway 1 AMREX 476. Taxi to runway 33 AMREX 903. Tower, AMREX 54 inbound for runway 1. Ground, Habesha 26 ready for taxi. Contacting departure, AMREX 727. Line up and wait runway 1, SWEST 844. Cross runway 4, AMREX 336. Taxi to runway 33 Habesha 26. Ran, ALX 171 at B19, request pushback. Tower, AMREX 128 inbound for runway 33. Cleared for pushback ALX 171. Cleared to land runway 33, AMREX 128. Cleared to land runway 1, AMREX 54. Ran, America 418 at C39, request pushback. Cleared for pushback America 418. Cross runway 33 and taxi to parking, America 885. Cleared for takeoff runway 1, SWEST 844. Line up and wait runway 4, AMREX 525. Ground, helicopter D cargo 409 at G7, ready for taxi. Ground, $366 ready for taxi. Taxi to helipad helicopter D cargo 409. Continue taxi, X cargo 626. AMREX 383 inbound for runway 1. RAN, X-Cargo 451 at G3, request pushback. Contacting departure, SWEST 844. Taxi to runway 1 $366. Line up and wait runway 1, Bronte 723. Hold position, AMREX 476. Tower, AMREX 469 inbound for runway 33. Cleared to land runway 1, AMREX 383. Cleared to land runway 33, AMREX 469. RAN, Habesha 438 of G4, request pushback. Taxi to parking, mission critical 566. Taxi to parking, AMREX 54. Hold position, mission critical 566. Ground, Galex 171 ready for taxi. Cleared for takeoff runway 1, Bronte 723. Taxi to runway 1 Galex 171. RAN, AMREX 962 at C35E, request pushback. Continue taxi, AMREX 476. Cleared for pushback Habesha 438. Cleared for pushback X-Cargo 451. Cleared for takeoff from helipad, helicopter D-Cargo 409. RAN, Libby 421 at G5, request pushback. Ground, America 418 ready for taxi. Cleared for pushback Libby 421. RAN, AMREX 900 at C31, request pushback. Contacting departure, Bronte 723. Tower, Galex 774 inbound for runway 1. Cleared for pushback AMREX 900. Continue taxi, mission critical 566. Taxi to parking, AMREX 128. Cleared for pushback AMREX 962. Cross runway 1, Habesha 26. Hold position, UNEX 38. Line up and wait runway 1, Blue 596. Tower, AMREX 467 inbound for runway 33. RAN, SWEST 272 at A7, request pushback. Cross runway 4, Habesha 26. Ground, X-Cargo 451 ready for taxi. Cleared for pushback SWEST 272. Cleared for takeoff runway 1, Blue 596. Continue taxi, UNEX 38. Taxi to parking, AMREX 383. Cross runway 1, AMREX 903. Cross runway 4, AMREX 476. Tower, Galex 774, going around. No landing clearance. Hold position, mission critical 566. Contacting departure, Blue 596. Contacting departure, Galex 774. Cleared to land runway 33, AMREX 467. Tower, AMREX 507 inbound for runway 1. Ground, Habesha 438 ready for taxi. Cleared for takeoff runway 4, AMREX 525. Cleared to land runway 1, AMREX 507. Continue taxi, mission critical 566. Ground, Ribby 421 ready for taxi. Taxi to runway 1 America 418. Cross runway 4, $366. Tower, AMREX 325 inbound for runway 33. Cross runway 4, AMREX 903. Ground, AMREX 962 ready for taxi. Contacting departure, AMREX 525. Ground, AMREX 900 ready for taxi. Taxi to runway 4 AMREX 962. Taxi to parking, AMREX 469. Taxi to runway 4 AMREX 900. Cross runway 4, Galex 171. Line up and wait runway 4, Amrex 628. Hold position, Amrex 900. Contacting departure, helicopter D cargo 409. Ground, Suez 272 ready for taxi. Hold position, mission critical 566. Taxi to runway 1 Suez 272. Taxi to runway 4X cargo 451. Taxi to runway 4 Rivi 421. Taxi to runway 4 Habesha 438. Continue taxi, Amrex 900. Taxi to parking, Amrex 467. Line up and wait runway 1, Suez 53. Tower, America 217 inbound for runway 1. Tower, helicopter Skyheart 709 inbound. Cleared to land runway 1, America 217. RAM, Amrex 881 at C34, request pushback. Cleared to land runway 33, Amrex 325. Helicopter Skyheart 709 cleared to land on helipad. Cleared for pushback Amrex 881. Tower, Amrex 542 inbound for runway 33. Cleared to land runway 33, Amrex 542. Taxi to parking, Amrex 507. Hold position, Amrex 900. Amrex 659 at C40, cleared for takeoff runway 1, Suez 53. Ran, Amrex 730 at C35 on, request pushback. Cleared for pushback Amrex 659. Cleared for pushback Amrex 730. Cleared for takeoff runway 4, Amrex 628. Ran, Amrex 775.